The name. Yeah, this name, it's back in the news again. Josh Harris made some very definitive statements, and we're going to talk about that and a bunch more in our top 5 takeaways from his press conference right here, right now. Ref the District. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Ref the District. I am the Stoner. We've got some awesome content for you today because Josh Harris went out in front of the media, took questions, did interviews, and all sorts of things, which is an awesome thing for this organization. And he had some very interesting things to say. We're going to do our top 5 takeaways from this Josh Harris press conference slash and interview that he did just in the last couple of days, and some awesome topics that we're going to count down 5 to 1. And look, I'm not going to bury the lead. I am going to go from 5 to 1, but you know what the lead is. You know it's all about the name and the other name and changing the name and all of those things. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't worry. But if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button too, because we have got the Commanders covered here on Ref the District. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you know when our stuff comes out. We're live every Wednesday, right? And we also have all kinds of content. But Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Facebook and YouTube, you can catch us where we've gone 210 consecutive weeks of live programming. So make sure you check us out. And hey, and if you're listening, or you have listened before, make sure you leave a rating and review and let us know how we're doing as well on your favorite audio platform. Let's get into this top 5 list. And again, we're definitely going to talk about the name. That's going to be number 1. I'm giving you a spoiler alert. Usually I like to kind of leave it a surprise as we go down the list, but that's going to be number 1. But there are other really interesting things to talk about that he said in his press conference. Number 5, though, number 5 has to be the fact that he's even doing this at all. He is out there in front. He's taking questions. He's answering with very professionally and very honestly. You can see it. You can hear it when he's talking. I was trying to find out, rack my brain. When was the last time the owner of the Washington franchise did a press conference? And I'm racking and I'm racking and I'm racking. I remember when they talked about the name change and they were in front of what was then FedEx, and he was there, but all he did was introduce the players involved with the name change. So, Jason Wright and all of these and old players were there to kind of show off the new uniforms and such. He didn't take questions. And I think before that was 2020, the infamous Happy Thanksgiving, which was the most cringe sort of attempt at a joke that I have seen in a long time. But that was to introduce Ron Rivera as head coach. That was 2020. He didn't take any questions. So I was just trying to think, when's the last time he took honest questions for a press conference? I know his wife did around the time. I think she talked to, I don't know, NBC or Pro Football. You'll have to remind me by leaving comments on who Tanya Snyder talked to, because Dan was too scared to, or whatever his reasons. He was hiding because there's a lot of bad going on within the org. But it just doesn't happen around here until now. Josh Harris will sit there and he will answer your questions, tough questions, softballs, whatever. He's going to answer them, and he's going to answer them honestly. So I thought that is our number 5 biggest takeaway, was that he even did a press conference at all. And this might have been his second or third one, and he's only been an owner for like a year and a half. In the future, we'll see how that goes, because, it can get a little piling up and annoying after a while to do these things. But good on him for actually doing this press conference. So that was my number 5 takeaway. Number 4 would probably be the new stadium. And he talked about the new stadium in terms of when they hope to have a deal done, where that stadium might be. Look, the entire organization and everyone surrounding this organization is all in on the RFK site in DC. But there are a lot of political hurdles to get through. He said that he's been working with political leaders in Washington, in the District of Columbia, talking about federal leaders in Washington, the District of Columbia. That's where they want to get it done. Roger Goodell even came out and said that's the best place for the stadium. His specific, he's pushing for it there. He says economically, that's the best place to go for Washington. But Maryland's not out of it. Virginia, forget about Virginia. It's not going to Virginia. Nobody's pushing for it in Virginia. Maryland's not out of it. Governor Westmore wants the Commanders in Maryland at the old FedEx site or Northwest Stadium, the current site. I shouldn't say old, or right next to it or whatever, and figure out that plan. They're offering tons of money. The offer is there on the table. If it was just about needing a location, they'd have taken that deal a long time ago. They're waiting for DC to come in with this massive offer to build a stadium. How much is not going to come out of Josh Harris's pocket? And so he's got the two kind of working against each other or competing against each other, where he has all the leverage. Give me the best deal. Give me the best deal. It's going to end up at RFK, at the old RFK site. Let me just say that right now. It's going to end up there, but Maryland is not going to give up. So we'll see. 2030 is still the goal of when they want to get a stadium in there. We'll see what happens there. So number 4 is the new stadium. That's my bet. And if you like to bet, well, the biggest betting weekend of the year is finally here, which means more updated odds and props for Super Sunday. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. We have hundreds of prop bets, MVP odds, and exclusive in-game live betting. BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline offers you everything and more to enhance your game day experience. Visit the website today and make the game day action count a little bit more. BetOnline, the game starts here. And please bet responsibly. The number 3 takeaway from this, I think, is the commitment to Northwest Stadium, old FedEx, the dollar commitment, the commitment to the fans, the commitment to the organization. And he said, look, we're spending $100 million in improvements in the stadium. Originally, they had earmarked $75 million. They said that's not enough. We got to get $100 million into the stadium improvements. And so they're going to, we're talking about premium seats. They're talking about redoing the upper decks and just making the fan experience better. Making sure you don't have sewage leaking. Making sure that people don't have to stand in line for 30 minutes to get food or drink. All of these things, because they're going to be there for at least 5 more seasons, probably 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 seasons. So they need to make these improvements and not just say, go to the dump until we get the new place ready. No, he's committed to the experience, not only for the fans, but also for the players. So good on him. Good on him for not, he could easily tell you, look, why would I put $100 million investment into the stadium when in 5 years I'm going to put $3 billion into a new stadium? Just wait until the new stadium is ready. He's not doing that. He's saying we're going to make it in the interim, we're going to make it a better fan experience. That's all you can ask for as a fan, right? And he's also going to make it better for the players in the stadium in terms of locker rooms, in terms of family facilities. Let's not forget, and this is going to dovetail right into my my number 2 takeaway. These kind of go hand in hand. Is that this Washington organization for like the last couple of years? You remember that survey that comes out, and they grade the players They grade all of everything that's involved with the franchise. Weight rooms, facilities, taking care of family, access to medical care, all of that stuff. Showers, locker room, uh, just all of those things. And Washington was always 32nd in the NFL. 32nd. And it was embarrassing. And that is what's going to cause, or that's going to have a direct effect, I should say, on whether or not players are going to want to come play for the organization. It's 100% true. You show them the money and the players are going to come. We saw it for years under the different regime. If you show Albert Hainsworth $100 million and say, you're going to go shower outside and in the cold, he's gonna take that as opposed to 75 million with nice facilities. You're always going to take the money. That's true. But now what you can offer is a competitive situation that is in conjunction with the contract. So if you're anywhere close, let me just give a crazy example because we're going to talk about this on Wednesday's show. Let's just say they're vying for T. Higgins to come to Washington and they offer him $110 million. And let's just say Carolina offers $115 million. But Washington, besides the coaching and the quarterback and all of those other things, they have first class facilities. Whereas Carolina is offering a little bit more money, maybe even a little bit more guaranteed, but their facilities suck, their coaching sucks, their quarterback sucks. And I'm not saying all those are true. I'm just trying to give you a comparison of the two. Then maybe T. Higgins comes to Washington instead of the team with the highest offer because of all of those things, not just the field stuff on the field, but the stuff off the field. Winning in the margins. It used to be called winning off the field. Now it's called winning in the margins. And those margins are on the side that are not directly related to football or contract, but they're those little things that matter. And they are, maybe you have better family rooms for when you bring your wife and kids to the facility, or if you have to work out and your wife is out of town and so she can't watch the kids, so you bring the kids and they have daycare there that's going to take care of them well and be a healthy area and be clean and all of that. If you improve all of that, you better your chances of getting better players and better coaches. Money is always the great equalizer, but if you want to be competitive in that market, you have to do these things. And that's what they're doing at the stadium. And also, number two, which is my number two takeaway, is all the improvements in Ashburn. So we know this. They're not leaving Ashburn. No matter where the stadium goes, the headquarters is going to stay in Ashburn, which is fine, which is great. Especially if it goes to RFK, you don't want to have to try and figure out where you're going to put all your practice facilities and everything. So they're probably staying in Ashburn, and they're committed to improving the area in Ashburn. That's my number two takeaway from all of this. They're talking about new showers, new weight rooms, uh, modern facilities in every way, and in the locker rooms, and again in the family care areas. All of these things, the field, the actual field that they practice on. You remember that old field that was 25 years old and they didn't even use it anymore. It was so bad. And they've already improved that. And the indoor facility, they're going to improve all of these things because they want to be competitive and they want to bring in the best players and give them the best facilities and the best training and the best practice so that they can be the best team. That's pretty awesome that he has committed this. This hasn't happened around here. I don't know. Give me a date when something big like this has happened. When the commitment to the overall organization has happened. I can't remember. You might be able to remember. I can't remember. But let's get back to the number one takeaway. And this is big. This should be the lead. This should be what everybody's talking. Not should be, but everybody is talking about the name. Let me just give it to you straight. The name ain't changing. It's not changing. And if you want the name to change and it's your line in the sand that says if they don't change the name, whether it's back to Redskins or to a different name, and your line is if they don't, then I'm out as a fan, bye. Sorry. I hate to be so blunt and so cruel about it, but that's true. That's it's crazy to think that that's your line. That's your final stance. That if they don't either change the name back or forward, then you are no longer a fan. There are those people out there. You might be one of them. Love to hear your comments in the comment section. Can't be me. Can't be me. I don't care what the name is. And we've said this for years. It could be the pink tiddlywinks. If you're committed to winning and you have hope and you're a winning franchise, that's what the name's going to be. And Josh Harris basically said that. He said, I'm looking at my notes because I want to get this exactly right. He was asked if the commander's name is around to stay. That was the question asked of him. He said, yes. I think it's now being embraced by our team, by our culture, by our coaching staff. We're going with that. And that's true. As it starts to grow on you, you start realizing that the name specifically doesn't matter. But what matters is what's happening within the organization. And when you're winning and you're building a winning culture, that name is going to stick. Because you can't go out and go to the NFC Championship game and then say, well, let's go change the name again. And I get it. There's people that are very passionate about it. If you do any poll, the majority, normally 55% or higher, are saying they hate the name. I'm looking at one poll right now that says 58% don't like the name. But it doesn't matter because number one, any name that you go to, people are going to hate. There is no name. We like Washington Legends. It's not going to happen. If you go back to Redskins, you're still going to have a portion of fandom, a portion of society that's not going to like the name. You can call it whatever political reference you want to call it. But even if you go back to that, you're still going to have people that hate it. You're never going to satisfy everybody. This is the name. This is what it is now, and it's what it's always going to be. Josh Harris has never wavered on this. Nobody within the organization has ever hinted in any way. They've never wavered in their stance about this name. They said it before, last year, before the season. The old name can't come back. That is a direct quote from Josh Harris. And now he's saying, we're going with that. It's part of the culture now. So the name is not going to change. They will, however, they will dip into their past in various ways. They haven't been specific. The rumors are out there that the uniforms are going to get some slight changes, and we'll see how that goes. But he said specifically, and again, I'm going to quote, they want to honor our past and bring it together with our future. So you're going to see hints of it. We've already seen that the old logo is being used in a official manner, not necessarily directly with the team, but if you go to Fanatics, you can find officially licensed NFL gear with the Redskins logo on it. Not prominent, not blasted out all over, but it's there because that's what they're starting to go towards. They did this last year. So just telling you about the name to wrap the name. And I want to hear your comments, and there's going to be a gazillion comments, and good. Your opinion matters, and your voice needs to be heard. But just try not to hold the line and say, if they don't change it, I'm not a fan. Be a fan of Jaden Daniels. Be a fan of Terry McLaurin. Be a fan of winning football because it's coming. We're on the rise. This is not an instance where we're going to be 4-13 next year and everybody's angry. No, this team is going places, and the name is going with it. So just jump along for the ride and you'll be happier. And again, the top 5 takeaways from Josh Harris's press conferences. Number 5, he's even doing a press conference at all, which hasn't been done around here in forever. Number 4, the stadium is still looking to be coming around in about 2030. We don't know where. Most likely RFK. Number 3, massive improvements to the current stadium in Landover, Northwest Stadium. Number 2, massive improvements to the facility back in Ashburn, Virginia to draw in players, coaches, fans, all of that. And the number 1 takeaway is, of course, the name ain't changing. Get used to it, enjoy it, live it. We're on our way up. Let's all go for a ride. Thanks to everybody who has checked out this episode of Ref the District here, our top 5 list off season. Today's top 5 off season, top 5 takeaways from the press conference. If you like the video, make sure you hit like, hit that subscribe button, and look, catch us live every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube. We have awesome discussions, and you can be a part of that as well by being in the chat and bringing in your questions and your comments. We love interacting during these segments. And so again, appreciate everybody's here. If you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, hit that like. If you're listening on an audio platform, make sure you leave a rating and review. Thanks for everyone who's been here. We are a proud member of the Believe Network, and we thank our sponsors, Bet Online and Don't Sleep Energy. And until next time, be a fan.